cheerful Monday morning, brothers. This is Monday Morning Musings, and I am Timothy Andrew, the host of From the Basement podcast. Today's topic is faith over fear. Deuteronomy 10:20 says, "You shall fear the Lord your God. You shall serve him and hold fast to him, and by his name you shall swear." Jumping a few more chapters in Deuteronomy to Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Faith helps us to re-examine our fears and reminds us of God's presence in our lives. One of the most common commands in the Bible is, "Do not be afraid." This command is often followed by the reassurance that God is with us. When we are afraid, we can find comfort in knowing that we are not alone and God is greater than any fear we may face. Fear is a natural emotion, a response to perceived danger or threat. You can have a healthy reaction that protects you from harm. However, when fear becomes excessive or unbalanced in a situation, it can paralyze us, preventing us from living a full and abundant life. This is where faith comes in. Faith is not merely a belief in God. It is a deep-rooted trust in his sovereignty, goodness, and his promises. It is the conviction that no matter what we face, God is in control and he will see us through. In the Bible, we have examples of individuals who, through their faith, overcame their fears. Think of David, who faced Goliath. He could have been paralyzed by fear, but his faith in God gave him the courage to confront and defeat Goliath. Now think of Daniel, who was thrown into the lion's den for his faith. He could have succumbed to fear, but his trust in God kept him safe. These examples show us that when we put our trust in God, we can overcome our fears. Now, this is not to say that we will never experience fear. Even the most faithful among us can feel fear. However, faith gives us the strength to face our fears, confront them, and to move onward despite them. Hebrews 13:6 says, "So we can confidently say, 'The Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me?'" A.W. Tozer once said, "The most important thing about a man is not what he does, but who he becomes in the presence of God." When we trust in God, we can face our fears with confidence and courage. The courage that God gives us is not a human's courage that relies on our own strength or abilities. Psalm 23:4, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." With the confidence that God gives us, we can stand up to the challenges that come our way, knowing that we are not alone. This is the blessing of courage in the face of fear. It is a blessing that enables us to live boldly and fearlessly, even in a world that is often scary and uncertain. The blessing of courage in the face of fear is not a one-time gift. It's a gift that God gives us again and again, and each time we face a new fear, and when we choose to trust in him instead of giving in to fear, we grow stronger in our faith. We become more confident in God's faithfulness and more assured of his presence in our lives. In closing, remember, fear has no hold on us when we trust in the Lord. Keep these scriptures close to your hearts. Be strong, courageous, and trust in the Lord, knowing he is our helper, and he will never leave nor forsake you. Let me close in prayer. Oh, Heavenly, faithful Father, thank you for reminding us that we have nothing to fear because you are with us. Help us to carry these truths in our hearts every day, living courageously and faithfully in your love. In your splendid, loving, and exalted name, amen. I encourage you to go to my website, fromthebasement.org, fill out the comments and feedback section, And if you have ideas that you would like me to look at and possibly do a podcast on, please send them to me. All feedback and comments are kept private. Thank you for your listening support, and have a faithful and courageous week.